Today we're going to be delving deep into interactions and prototyping. Let's just start with this simple button and we're going to be moving from left to right. Let's start from this simple button. Now, the only interaction that we could have with this button that we can actually prototype in Figma is the pressing interaction. Now, if I go here into this design play here, if you can see it has a play icon here indicating that it is Figma's own playing menu here. So if I go to the second page, which is this one, the error page, and if I keep on clicking on this try again, here nothing really happens. And obviously the reason for that is because there isn't any prototyping or interactions. It's very simple now to create that. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to components here. And you can see I will try to find, uh, let's actually fix this real quick. For some reason it wasn't working. So let's try to find our button here, which is right here, this one. And what I'm going to do is I mistakenly closed uh, the Figma file here, sorry. So what I'm going to do here for this one is to duplicate it by creating a new variant for it, right? So let's go back to components again. So what I'm going to do is just take this and create a new variant for it, right? So the first one would be the defaults. And I always like to rename my defaults with a small letter D because that's like the whole name convention that we are using. And the new one, I'm going to say on press. So that's the naming convention I like to use. Uh, so on, then following with the interaction, which is pressing. So let's just fix this up here in a minute. So let's just make this brand color. Let's apply some layouts with auto layouts 32, 64 by 64. Great. So now I'm just going to take everything else. Okay, so selecting every frame here. And let's just take them down. Let's align it correctly here. And the thing we're going to be doing here is just simply changing the color. Nothing really difficult. So we have this red 500 here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this, and you want to start from your actual color, right? You want to start from the reference points of your color so that when you change it, you either could make it darker or lighter in relation to your starting point. So here I'm just going to make it darker just a bit here. You can see I'm just pressing the down arrow here, which is taking it to be slightly into the darker, and it's actually has an unintended uh, side effect that is pushing it down. So let's try to fix it here. Let's go back here, and instead we're just going to be applying it from the spectrum menu. So let's just go down here. Okay, so you can see now it's a bit darker. So there might not be as much contrast now with the text, and that's fine because people aren't really going to be looking at this too much. This will be for a split second where people start pressing the button. Great. So now we could just go here, and previously it was red 500. Now it will be red, and it is a bit darker. So we're not going to go 400. 400 is a base color, and this is an in-between color for interaction. So I want to go 450, which is between 400 and 500. So all my interactions are going to be in between numbers. Great. So let's just apply, create this variable here. And yeah, so I would like to include this into our brand colors here. So I'm just going to duplicate this and make it the darker color here, 450. Go back. Let's rename this. Okay, so very nice. At this point, we have a completed interaction. But that interaction doesn't actually exist, right? So we have to create that interaction. So we're going to start from here. And we're just going to say here is adding a prototyping. We're going to add an interaction. It's going to be on while pressing, actually, while pressing. The while pressing, I want an action which is changed to. Okay, changed to on press. So you see what we did? We are saying while this button is being pressed, change to the on press state. And the animation could be smart animate. I really like smart animate. The only thing I'm going to change is actually the timing. I always like to have 200. And yeah, we can also go with ease in and out, ease in. You can even have a custom bezier. But for now, I'm just going to say ease in. It's probably the best in this case. It's very minimal. So these are sort of our interactions that we're going to be having. So this is like the blueprint for all our coming interactions, right? So I'm just going to apply it here and you can see it's being applied. So when we go back here and when we might have to refresh it or restart it. So after the restart here, we are here and you can see it's very subtle. Maybe let's try to make this feel a bit more, yeah. So you can see there's a very subtle change in color. So these sort of interactions just indicate to the user that they are actually using an app that is responsive and the actions that they are doing is actually being applied. You can see it's not the best animations because Figma is not an animation platform. We just try to prototype it and learn something about prototyping and interactions in Figma. Uh, Currently it's very good. This is all we want. Subtle change. So let's just go back now and continue. Since now we have the idea of how everything's going to go, this should be much, much easier. So next up, I'm going to go here to the nav bar. So last time we created this here, which is the nav bar expanded, and we need a way of changing the nav from one nav bar to the other, right? So let's just do that. Here we have our two nav bars, and here let's just add an interaction. We're just going to say on click, right? So not on click on the nav bar, actually, sorry. We have to go here to this menu toggle and we have to add the interactions on click. Actually, let's first start by adding the pressing animation. So while pressing, and we need to have a different state, right? So let's come back to that here in a minute. For that to happen, we need a different state for this. Okay, so how are we going to do this? Let's just copy it here. Let's go back to design. Let's copy this. Okay, actually it's a good thing that we're encountering this problem because we're going to learn more about components. Let's just copy this, go down. Okay, I zoomed out too much. Paste it inside of a frame. This frame should be the same as the ones before. Okay. Okay. 64. This is for the nav buttons. So we're going to have one, this, and the closing button also will be applied later. So here I'm going to start from this. And I'm just going to create a new variable for this. And I'm just going to copy this variable, the menu toggle. Actually, let's just start by saying this is the menu toggle. Okay, great. So now we can just paste it here instead. Control Shift R. Great. So at this point, we can just create a new variable for this. Again, the first one should be called the default, while the second one should be on press. Okay, this one should have, again, sort of, I would say, either a darker or lighter background. Here, since the background is pretty dark on itself, I will tend to go a bit lighter here. So let's go here and go a bit lighter. Okay, great, something like this. Very subtle. Okay, this now will be called gray. It was, I believe, 300. Now is lighter, so it's going to be 350. Right, so 300 and 350. Let's apply some fixes here as well. Hmm. Some errors here, no problem. Just gonna have to apply it manually. Okay, great. So now we can just take this and add the prototyping, right? So we can add an interaction while pressing change to on press. Smart animate 200 ease in. Okay, again, very simple. We have done this so many times here. And let's just go up now here. And this is already applied, so we can now just find the navbar. So let's make this wider. Find the navbar. And now when we click this, okay, maybe it's a bit too small currently. So let's try to go back and fix it. Okay, so let's go back here and let's increase the size. It's for around 48. Then, okay, interesting. Here it seems to work fine. Let's try to restart it maybe. I've had these sort of issues. You can see it is working. Okay, yeah, you see it started. It is working. If you can see, it's very hard to see since it's not the biggest thing. But you can see it is just changing. So that's what we want. That's great. Again, Figma's prototyping has its weaknesses and sometimes it is buggy, but it's a very powerful tool to know how to use. Okay, so next up, we want to work on changing the navbars, right? So this time it's going to be a bit different. We're not just changing one component's variant into another. We're actually just changing a full page. So let's see how to do it. I'm just going to go to prototyping, add another interaction. So you can have multiple interaction. On click, navigate to, and the destination should be, okay, so unfortunately, we don't. That's something Figma doesn't have, which is to link one page with another page from a different component within. So I can't really link this component to have an action that triggers a change to it and to another page, which is on the design page. So every page should be on the same uh, so every interaction should be on the same page is what I'm trying to say. So we will have to fix that here. Maybe in the future they could fix that, but for now we don't have that capability. So let's go back to design and let's do it manually here. I'm just gonna take this now and I'm just gonna say here, go to prototyping, add an interaction, on tab is the same thing, on click, on tab, navigate to the nav menu here. Okay, so you can see we are navigating to this page. Now it would have been very nice if it works in terms of just okay, if I could like main component push changes to main component. I'm not sure if that applies here. Let's check it out. Let's check it out here. So probably we're just gonna have to their way of checking it actually. Did it resets? Okay. Some technical difficulties with Figma. Here, let's try to reapply it. Okay. So now we have this interaction. Okay. So what we can do here, you can take this, you can copy it, Control Shift R, and we can do this again and again to all the nav bars. So now, if we click on this, you can see we are transferred. Sorry for that. We are transferred to the page which is dedicated to the navbar. Great. So now we have to do the same thing with this one to make it go back. And obviously here you can see a problem, which is we can't really go back to a specific page. We have to, like for example, if Figma doesn't know which page you came from to transfer you back. So we just have to assume that the user came from a specific page and applied there. So here I'm just going to assume that on tap, maybe back. Does that work? If that works, actually, that would be a lifesaver. Okay, let's see. Okay, that's very nice. So for example, if we go to, let's restart it here. Okay, so let's actually restart the whole flag here. Okay, so after we finish this next, we're going to be continuing with these buttons here. Actually, we would have to do the FM and radio and AM radio selections here than this. And it's not too long here. It's not super difficult. Maybe, okay, the back here is now working. I think it's breaking more than it is fixing. So, okay, let's just remove this. And the interaction should be for this button here. The interaction should be on top. We want to navigate to the home page. So we assume that the home page is where the user is coming from, right? So it's going to be instant here. And let's see. Because if we run it again, okay. Also, we have to work on the on press animation. So let's just click this and click this. Okay. Again, that's very good now. Okay. Yeah, I think this is much better. It has a wider field of view. Okay. So we'll have to finish today's part here, today's lesson with finishing on the interaction here. I'm gonna go back to components. I'm gonna copy this and create a new component for it, right? So here, by the way, should be hug content by hug content both ways. So let's just duplicate this. So Control Shift R here, just to paste it in. Let's make this insert component. Menu close, yeah. Okay. At this point, we are just doing the same thing. Let's create a new variable for it on press, not no press, on press. Then default. And let's apply some fixes here again, the way we did so many times before. So it's very easy now. Okay. Let's go back here and apply the proper sizing, which is 48 pixels. Okay, great. Now, so we just have to change this. This time it's going to be a bit different. We're just going to be changing it to white, and the inner icon will be black. So that's going to be the change that we're going to be doing. The reason for that is this is an orange background, so I think changing it to white would have more of an impact without really taking too much of visual hierarchy. Great, so now it's the same thing we did so many times. Again, you can actually just pause the video and try to do this on your own. It's just on press, while pressing actually. Action change to on press, should be smart animates, ease in, and 200 milliseconds. Great, so let's just try it for the final time and we're gonna be done with today's video. So sorry for the noise here. Okay, let's just restart it once. Okay, I think it didn't restart properly. Okay, so why is it not working is the question. Okay, the reason for that being we did not apply this. So let's just take this back here and to Control Shift R, paste and replace. So here on press, you can see how it's changing. Very nice. Okay. For some reason though, it is being blocked. Okay, yeah. So we have to reapply the animation here because this is a new instance, and this is actually a different component, right? So it's not the same. So the animation doesn't stick to it. We're just gonna have create new interactions on tab here. Navigate to actually. So, oh, great. So let's go back. Now we have both of the animations for both this and this. Great. Thanks for watching today's parts of the lesson here. We started on working on some prototyping, which was fun. Even though Figma has some of its flaws, hopefully, I believe incoming updates they are aiming to add more of a focus on interactions in animations. So we're gonna be having to see how that progresses. Next time, we're going to be following with different buttons here, like these buttons and the default buttons all around. Yeah, thanks for watching. We're going to be continuing with the interactions next time, and yeah, catch you in the next video.